Hey, before you watch this thing, hit subscribe, would you? Quit it with the, what is it? Hold on, let me look it up. This is going to be worth it. Quit it with the avoidant attachment style. Just hit it. Don't you want me to feel good? Subscribe. Hey, everybody. It's Neal Brennan. It's the Blocks Podcast. My guest today, a guy I've known 17 years. He's got a new Netflix special called America's Sweetheart that's very good that I watched. You got a podcast. What's the podcast called?
Be Trippin.
You Be Trippin. Cultural appropriation. He's coming in. That's his finger. That's a good distillation of who he is. Anyway, Ari Shaffir, everybody. You know who he is.
Thanks, buddy.
Here's what I want to say to you. I actually think you're underrated as a generator of creative shit. Meaning like, so what I mean is the production design on the special, the background, specifically chosen.
Black people, honestly, I hope you get white privilege someday soon. But until that happens, man, you make excellent decoys. If I'm at CVS and three brothers walk in, I'm like, it's go time.
For the special, I saw the trailer and I went fuck, because I was like, I wanted to do that. John Mayer had a thing like that. He had like floral arrangement on his stage at one point. That was like, and like 15 years ago, I was like, I would like to do that. Anyhow, you beat me to it because
nice.
I mean, I don't even know if I would have ended up doing it, but
that is one of those when you're starting to do one, but you're like, I hope nobody gets there. There's no way I'm thinking of this idea.
We got to move the date up, so
yeah. Like, come on, yeah.
And it looks awesome. And nice. then you had one Jew on YouTube that's candles.
Yeah. And
then I'm thinking down this, and I go, and you created a show. This is not happening.
Yeah.
Which I don't even give you. It's like Birbiglia has directed 2 or 3 movies, and I don't even like give it to him.
Yeah.
Like he's written and directed 2 or 3 movies.
Sleepwalker was good.
Sleepwalker was great. Yeah. And Don't Think Twice was great. But I don't even, some people I don't know. You just don't associate with them. So I would like to give you your flowers.
Dude, I love getting, thanks Schultze. I love getting flowers from, where did that come from? From comics. I love it.
Who's Schultze?
Andrew.
For what?
Flower. That's the first time I heard that. You got to get your flowers.
Oh, get your flowers.
He's a finger on the pulse of young America.
With the kids. He's mid.
Yeah. Did you see what's his name from Barstool calling him on that?
One of my favorite clips of all.
Oh,
made me
God.
love the guy from Barstool.
How old are you?
38.
You're using mitt, huh?
So I wanted to.
Yeah, thanks.
I wanted to give you your flowers. Now, having said that, I
make things. I like making things.
Yeah, but you don't seem like it. You seem so like you don't like authority.
Yeah.
So it seems like I don't know. It just seems like you're not interested in like organized work.
Yeah, isn't it weird when you get like an idea of someone and then you're like I remember seeing Rogan a long time ago doing a bit about
Hugh Hefner.
And I knew this guy as like a workout guy and like whatever. And I was like, well, he'll love Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
And then he had this joke about what are like losers, old man in a smoking jacket fucking these young women. Just
that guy is a fucking dork. He's a dork.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
The exact opposite of what I expect.
Yes.
But totally justified.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like some network executive telling me how to do stuff. I like telling artists, like, you're free. What are you going to do? Let's go.
Do you assume artists will do it right? Because that's always the worry is like, a lot of people, freedom to quote Donald Rumsfeld, freedom's messy.
And freedom's untidy. And free people are free to make mistakes and commit crimes and do bad things.
Yeah, I know. When I started doing that This Is Not Happening show, I was like a Comedy Store only guy. Everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
And then I needed to book more and more people. It was once a month. I needed 5 stories on topics from people around LA.
How long did you do This Not Happening in private? How long did you do it just at the Belly Room or in the
5 years? Started in the improv side room. Then eventually they got mad. The lineups were too good for the side room.
Yeah.
They were like, you had Burr and Jim Jeffries and Burt Kreischer on the 30-seater?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. What do you want me to not book a good lineup?
Should I tell you, hey, I should give me the big room? That's a good lineup.
Small room was better. But what was I saying? Oh yeah. So then I had to go outside my circle, and I was like, oh, there's actually a ton of talented people
Yeah.
in LA. It's one of the best markets for comedy in the world.
Why did you?
It
Yeah,
helped me,
because
like,
that's kind of
get
the
out-
guy that I met. The guy was like, fuck everything. Like the guy I met was the guy who fought Bobby Lee.
Yeah. Oh,
And
right.
like
Yeah, it was
I'm
right
talking
around
about
when you got there,
And
yeah.
like, and you, I think you tried to fuck my rear view camera one time.
Yeah, but that's for fun. I wasn't trying to fuck it. I was
Meaning-
trying to
no,
play
I
a
don't think you were
sketch.
actually. No, I understand. I didn't think you were actually trying to have intercourse with
Yeah.
my car. I thought,
I forgot
and just
about
like
that.
it was just so frat boyish.
Yeah.
That's who I think you are, even though I clearly you are not.
But also, it is hilarious to see a dick coming at that rear view when you have the screen and it goes so close.
Well, you don't know what it is. You literally don't have any idea what's happening. You have that should have been my story on this not happening. It's like a 30
fucked
seconds, and
my car.
I didn't know what was happening. So I guess what I'm wondering is like, how did you go from that sort of like you were like an urchin,
Yeah.
you were like a parking lot urchin,
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
like becoming a
Parking lot urchin is right.
a full grown person.
Yeah, I was trying to find myself. I was coming from religion. I remember seeing Pete Holmes at a strip club in Portland, right out of whatever dumb snake charmer
Yeah.
shit he was in. And there's all the comics at Bridgestone Festival. So it was like 40 comics and 2 strippers. And he was in the back just going like what is this new life? you know? That's where I was a little bit, just like diving in.
So
trying
you
to
were
find
like,
yourself.
I don't even, I didn't watch, for some reason, I didn't watch all of you. I didn't get to,
Yeah, it's normal.
what you grew up like very Orthodox.
Religious, sort of starter curls.
Yeah.
You know, and then but I got out, but I was just finding who I was. You know, it took me a year into college before I like would like turn on and off lights on the Sabbath, let alone like kiss a girl, let alone have sex.
And did it feel like Rumspringa? Like it felt
Yeah,
like
for sure. And then like, a blowjob, dude, was like, what? I'm never going back.
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. Bacon, I thought was a big one, but a beach, bro.
Yeah.
They're great.
Oh, that'll get, I mean, I would disavow anything.
They're great.
I would burn the flag for the, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that
I'm
like,
so sorry. You guys are
That
heroes
would
for
be
what you
guys-
did. For what you did, Nom. But this is
yeah,
chick.
yeah, I'm sorry. So it was truly just like,
Yeah, but then from that to University of Maryland was like a big jump, and then to the LA and the Comedy Store in particular.
what made you move to LA?
I didn't want to get a job,
And did you think I'm going to be a comedian
comedian or writer. I took
Yeah.
some writing classes, so I was like,
in Maryland?
yeah, I was like, I could sell that to my friends as like an acceptable. Well, you
And
took
your
some
friends in
screenwriting
Maryland,
classes.
like I'm going to.
Yeah, and the family. I was like, I've taken screenwriting classes. I could do this, but then also like quietly stand up, which no one could do. That wasn't a job someone could actually
what year
get
was this?
into.
02?
99?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's 3 guys making money,
Yeah.
and then the rest, like, what? It's so weird. No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dane made it kind of accessible to everybody. The hot people started coming.
Yeah. They didn't make what it was like fine. It was like
Yeah.
decent. Now it's what like middles make. What headliners made in the late 90s was like what like someone with a decent podcast makes now.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
And then what was it? So when you
Drugs, late night, porn stars hanging out at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Weirdo, just weird people. Like half-tards, and like it was just such a wild place.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Mitzi the owner had just left, no control. We all just took control.
And you had to really like you used to have to like massage Mitzi's feet. And
all right,
stuff.
bro. All right.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying it like this is not.
Yeah.
It was not easy, and it was not paved.
Yeah, she took to me, but she wouldn't make it easy for me. She just wouldn't fire me.
Got it.
But like she wouldn't let me be on the shows.
But you were passed.
No, I didn't get passed for 5 years.
Oh, great.
So
I don't think I did either.
Really?
Yeah. Paulie passed me like
You got there after she was gone.
Yeah.
So she was barely coming in, if at all.
if like once a year.
I think Kevin Christie was like the last one to get passed by her,
Yeah.
but also not even her right mind.
Yeah. So did you feel like you had to get it out of your system or like
You grow up too. It was like Sturgill Simpson.
uh-huh.
And he sang about drugs a lot. And then later he like stopped and he's singing about fatherhood. And people are like, what about the drugs? He goes, I mean, I covered it.
Yeah.
And I'm like 45 now.
Yeah.
It's not as cool.
And you felt like you needed to do all that.
Your sense of humor shifts and changes. You're into different things.
What have you?
Could Adam Sandler write not Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison now?
Well,
no,
yeah,
right. Maybe he kind of stayed young, but yeah.
Were you aware of it, or just like you just found
diving
yourself
in, trying stuff? It was such a creative environment. There was no rules, so Barris would run a late night thing that just the nuttiest things were happening that you would never even imagine.
And what was your? The
so you
thing
could
I
find
like
what
about
you liked
you
and what you didn't.
Right, and what about lifestyle? In terms of, because the thing I like about you is like, the reason I like doing shows in Asia is because I was in Bali with an ex.
Hong Kong,
and I was like, this sucks. We got to get out of Bali. It's like, Bali is like Costa Rica, but so far away.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was just looking on Google. I was like, let's go to Bangkok. I go to Bangkok and I just do comedy club, and like Ari Shaffir, and I was like, what? You had just left, I think. But
really? Right then?
Yeah. But
Gina Yashray had played there too.
Yes. I like that you don't. Do you have no sense of what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, it's that. I don't even know what I'm doing wrong. So like when people are like, so I was broke for a long time. Because she wouldn't pass me. There was no success there. Bobby Lee was the most successful guy at the Comedy Store. He was making $5,000 a week on Mad TV.
Good news. It's true again.
Yeah.
He's the most successful guy at the Comedy.
Yeah. Rogan had just come. He had finished a sitcom, but it wasn't on anything new.
Yeah.
No one was doing anything.
Yeah.
And I was broke, and it was fine. It's a good city to be broke in, LA.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, so
I was robbed of the
approach,
need to make money. I didn't need that to feel happiness. I didn't need like success financially to call myself successful.
And you hadn't grown up like that.
I mean, I had what I had.
But like your parent, it wasn't
lower middle class, living like upper middle class.
Yeah.
Barely,
The American dream.
Yeah, exactly. And then like pretending we had more money than we did.
And then, so you were out here and you're like, your drive was what?
Getting a call back was so cool. Doing some crazy thing with Barris on stage was like, nailed it. That was awesome. Getting past at the Comedy Store. All I wanted to do was get past at the Comedy Store. For 5 years, it drove me like nothing. It made me cry. It made me throw temper tantrums in the main room when she was like, when I'd crush, like not always, but once in a while I'd crush in front. I was like, and she goes, no. I'm like, fuck. And I would just go to the back and just throw chairs in the main room that was like not open because it was such a failure place then. And just like tortured. And all I wanted was that, just to get past, to make $15 a night, to be able to. But so then when I got that, it was like my drive wasn't to make money. It was just that was never the thing.
And then your drive for this not happening was like, I know people with funny stories.
Good shows. It was so cool. The first one we did was like, we all just told mushroom stories or drug stories. It was me and Eric Abrams at his house, and we were like telling each other mushroom stories, and he was booking the side room at the Improv at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, can we do a show? Like, I didn't have anything going on. He's like, all right. 12 people showed up. Belladonna was one of them, the porn star, and her husband. It was me, Diaz, Mark Maron, AG. And we were like, dude, that was so fun.
Yeah.
Like, let's do this again in a month. It wasn't like, well, we didn't make any money, so we should stop, which is what a lot of people do.
Well, that's what I'm curious about. Is like, what's your drive, and then how do you see the shape of your life taking?
You just keep making cool stuff till I OD or whatever, till I get old. I don't know. You have a short time here. If you can make things. That's one of the things I saw when I was in the jungle, was like, I just want to make things. I don't want to,
you're jumping around. The jungle you're talking about doing
drugs. Yeah. And it was just like, all I want to do is make things. Like and I've made, and so have you, some okay stuff, some bad stuff, and some great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you make something great, I mean, I can think of one clearly, easily, it's just like, it's undeniably great.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just lives with all the other great things in the world.
Yeah.
That have ever been made, There's no one who didn't appreciate Chappelle's show.
Oh, you're talking about me. I thought we were talking about you.
No, you. That's a clear nailed it. It's a nailed it. That's it.
Yeah.
At the end of Tin Cup, when he keeps trying to hit that shot, when he finally does, like that shot was one. He nailed it.
Yeah.
So I just want to make as many of those. You keep coming close, and a couple times you do. I think, it's hard to look at yourself honestly, but This Is Not Happening was one. And then like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe my last special, the Jew one. And then like, yeah, but that's like, oh, if you could make some of those, just keep aiming for it. Then you're like, yes, it
And
just feels good.
Does that animate
so
you
good.
like day to day, or is it just a general hum?
Yeah, you know when you're doing something good, even if it's a moment, you know, if it's a perfect retort to a heckler, just like a moment in a set that was so. But that moment was like, pured it, man.
Do you beat yourself up when you're not doing that?
Yeah, no, like, this isn't getting me there. I did a,
Okay.
this never came out, but when Louis C.K. was they were leaking all his stuff. It was a terrible time for a creative. For like, you're not letting him do his stuff. I'm of the minority opinion that if Cosby wants to do jokes in jail, he should like creatively, like, let him do it. Yeah. Like, I don't like arrest him for whatever. Yeah. But like, what does that have to do with like, you can't write a novel? I don't understand. Like,
I don't think anybody's against that. They want the money to go to the victims.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
That's the thing. Like, Manson, write a book, do whatever you want, but you ain't getting the money.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, be creative at any moment. So anyway, so they weren't letting him do it. And so he was worried. He was building a special. I think that was the first one back. And he was like, if this leaks again, I can't imagine what he was going through. Yeah. Leaking his workout sets. Yeah. So he goes, I want to make a special to have ready. So if something leaks, I can go, nope, here's the actual one. And just push a button and it goes live while he's making the full one. And I was like, I was like, bro, let me do that for you. Let me make that. And he goes, oh yeah, okay. And we did it on 9 days notice at Governor's. It was so cool. We had to throw everything together. You can't make it. No one understands this. You can't build a special in 9 days. It was like, but everybody wanted to work with him and for him and make this thing happen. And I got these, I'm not a director. I'm just like trying to make things go, whatever role you want to call it. Got a director, or maybe he was the director, I guess. Yeah, he was a director. Got cameramen and we got everything. Did it in secret. And it was just like, we came back to Manhattan that night. We went, me and the A camera, like camera operator who's now like a DP, was like lowering himself to do this. And Eric Abrams was my director, who was just like, I'll help you, like, I'll just PA for you. And we were just like dancing around the streets, going from bar to bar. We was like, that was so fucking cool. Yeah. Yeah, it never even came out. It didn't matter. We made it. But I mean, like, Emily Dickinson died. No one read her poems. She still made them.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things I find interesting about you. So I don't look like I eat much, but I do. I love it. This is an ad for CookUnity, which I've genuinely used. I just renewed my thing for this week. I'm getting delivery Sunday. I don't know what day you're listening to this, but Sunday I'm getting my delivery. So far I've had 3 meals. They were great. They tell you what's in it, how many calories, who made it, what it is, how to prepare it. You can put in the fridge, put in the freezer, take it out, and you can be eating in 4 minutes. It's not boring. It's not like it's huge variety of stuff, even for me, a lowly vegan. They have fresh flavors, keto, gluten-free, GLP-1 balance. They got like a full panoply, pretty big word, of stuff, of different styles. I literally did it last night. I had cacio pepe. I took it out of the fridge, put it in the microwave. In 4 minutes, I was eating pasta cacio pepe. It wasn't vegan. It was vegetarian. Sometimes I downgrade. It was great. Also, the way it works is they hire different chefs to make 4 or 5 different meals for the program. So it's a bunch of different chefs, bunch of different specialties, types of food, regions, whatever. Healthy, not, it's great. They had a little picture of them on there. Here's the call to action. Finally, crush your health goals with nourishing, convenient, chef-crafted meals delivered straight to your door. Go to CookUnity.com/NEAL or enter code NEAL before checkout for 50% off your first week. That's 50% off your first week by using code NEAL or go to CookUnity.com/NEAL. Do it. It's legit good. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Hey guys, what are some relationship green flags? We often hear about red flags we should avoid, but what if we focus more on looking for green flags in friends and partners? Would you ever do that? If you're not sure what they look like, therapy can help you identify green flags, actively practice them in your relationships, and embody the green flag energy yourself. Whether you're dating, married, building friendship, or just working on yourself, it's time to form relationships that love you back. Again, doing these BetterHelp. It's like when we're not sponsored by BetterHelp, it's stupid to me. Talked about therapy pretty much every episode. You could take an antidepressant every time we bring up therapy on this podcast. That's the new. It's a pill game. I've benefited hugely from therapy. I'm doing it again now. My girlfriend's a therapist. I'm doing individual therapy. I'm doing couples therapy. I'm doing all kinds of therapy. I'm not dealing with major trauma. It's just day-to-day difficulty, trying to get better at things I want to get good at within myself. Listen to me. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Here's the call to action. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/NEAL today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/NEAL. BetterHelp.com/Neal. Do it. You don't really care about money.
Yeah, I just don't care about money.
How does that's one of your blocks. How does that affect your life?
Okay. I make less money than my friends.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily your choice.
Right. I'm not focused on it, so it doesn't come,
Right.
But it affects my life because I'm like free. I could feel this freedom that I have when comparing myself to others. There's other people that are way more free than I am, but like, I just feel like I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Because that's not my focus. My focus is on this other thing. And money has come. I'm not broke. I was for a long time. There were 3 years in comedy where I made 11 grand, 9 grand, and then 13 grand.
Yeah.
So like, I got by.
Yeah.
So I don't need first class. I don't even think about it. If I get bumped up, it's nice. I'm not like, I just don't think about it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't distract me.
What's
this
funny
restaurant's
is
not good enough. Doesn't distract me. I can eat street food in Bali. It doesn't distract me. Is this safe?
You don't even have pangs. You don't have any. You just don't have any.
Yeah. Once in a while, I'll be like, what am I going to do when I get older? And I might not have an audience. It's like, well, I'll do a normal job thing. I don't know.
You can easily do that. You just go, I'll just get a job.
I'll work at Walmart or something
until you OD.
Until I OD. It's just so fun. It's just like, I just don't think about it. So like, I'm taking off after pretty soon. I'm going to go travel for like a year.
Are you going to do stand-up or no?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I did it in Southeast Asia for like 4 months. I was so proud of you for going to Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And you went there.
Hong Kong,
Thought it was
Japan,
so cool.
Bangkok, Singapore.
Yeah, you really went out. Did we go to Hong Kong by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've been with like girls, but when I was dating, but like, I met my current girlfriend in Thailand.
What?
Yeah.
You checked?
She's from England. She was visiting.
Really nailed it.
No, it's she's a therapist. Should I go on?
Oh yeah, that's great for you.
So
that's great for you.
That's it. While it's a block, it feels like the opposite of a block. Like it feels like, well, I mean, you say it's a block, like it's just the thing. The thing is, I said, like, what makes
blocks
you feel
are getting in your way? I thought blocks are stuff you put up in your set.
It's things that you make you feel like something's wrong with you.
Right, yeah. So it's only what other people are thinking. What you see society.
Right. But do you buy and you just go, no?
I just know. I mean, I get what you guys are saying, I guess. Should I be doing? It's like when you're out in New York on a Monday night, me and somebody, Donnelly, I think, we're walking home to the subway. And we saw on a Monday night at like midnight. And we're like, I'm going home. And we saw like 12 people. You lived in New York, just going out reveling, going to a bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, should we be going out? Like tonight at night?
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was when someone's doing something, it makes you look at yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, should I be focused on cash more? No, I think I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was opening for Joe Rogan, I used to open for Joe Rogan. I'm playing, he was one of the most successful guys in stand-up at the time, playing these A rooms. I'm doing those rooms and more. So I'm like, I don't know. It's going pretty great.
Yeah, it's fun.
And everyone else went to there.
I know. I guess you can't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they think they have enough money.
Do you know what I mean? Don't. Exactly.
None of them are like, this is a great amount of money.
God,
so
these
like,
millionaires in jail.
I gotta get that. but I'm in you and I are more similar level in terms of road. And I'm kind of like, I want to get there, but at the same time, I'm like,
yeah.
I feel weird for it. I feel weird that like, I'm not trying to,
I was doing,
I wouldn't even know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I was doing Denver Comedy Works. I love that place. And I always said, like, if I go to theaters, there's some clubs I want to do with the good clubs. If there's no good club in a town, then sure, I'll go to a theater.
Yeah.
You know? And Denver's the best club.
Yes.
And they're like, it's time. I did 10 shows last time. And they're like, hey, it's time to move up. If you're doing 10 shows, you got to go to the theater. You make a lot of money. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And I was like, no, wait, I like doing this.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey guys, can I do 2 straight weeks in Denver? And they were like, all right. Why wouldn't you go somewhere else? I'm like, because there's still money. I don't know. There's still tickets to be sold.
Yeah. But
everyone's like, why not a theater? I'm like, because it's so fun. I get to do stand up at the best club in the world for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And then my friends just throw pity at me. And I'm like, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. And then when you go,
choice.
I'm making X a show, it's so much money.
Yeah.
To everyone but those people.
Yeah, Shane tried to he goes, oh, did you make a lot? The one I did 10, he goes, to make a lot of money. I was like, oh yeah, dude, it was crazy. Most I ever made. I told him, he was like, oh, no, I did make that in one night there, but great for you. And I'm like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. What's he going to do with the money?
What's he going to do with the money? Yeah, he buys $1 beer.
Yeah, I think he has legally has to, right?
Yeah.
That's
what I like about Key West. It's all these rich whites, but trash whites.
Yeah, they have really bad drinking problems.
Yeah, they grew up going, I could barely only afford like one like light local beer, and now I'm rich. I hit oil. I could afford 10 light local beers. You know.
And do you is that like a voice in your head of like you should, or you seem very comfortable living in Defiance.
Yeah, I love it. So there's this thing in the Fountainhead. It's like my Bible. It's lame, I know, but it's like
I didn't. What's funny is I used to love the Fountainhead, and then I heard it was like about conservatism. I was like, I don't know,
dude. Fuck them.
It's like
she took Social Security when she got older.
Yeah, it's like
what?
Right, but it's also like it can also be about like artistic integrity.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I had Tucker Carlson on my podcast, a travel podcast. We talked about travel, and everyone's like, "Why don't you call him on his shit?" I'm like, "Was he lying about the place he said he went?" And they're like, "I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm doing some other thing."
Yes.
So like, I don't care what she took. Social Security. Who's wrong? Anyway? But it was like you got to take some pride in what you destroy. Like you got to if you can't have the ability to do it, like blow it up the way he blew it up, and like then enjoy that part. Like he left a project in the hands of his employees, pretty much. He goes, follow this to the T, and it'll work out. They didn't follow it to the T. He came home and was like, oh, you fucked it up. Yeah. And he was like, all right, I'll get some TNT or whatever. Yeah. And like, I'm going to literally blow it up. So like, you just got to
And what do you think you're blowing up?
My storytelling show I blew up.
Yeah.
But it's also like, you can't tell me to do something I don't want to do. So it's like, nah, I guess fuck off.
You're some of that.
Free from money. You have enough where you're free from it.
Maybe if I get sued once, I don't. I do like catastrophize.
My first thing was like, what can I sue you for? That's my first thought. I was like,
before I even mentioned this shit.
Yeah. Like, are you susceptible
when you walked in the room? I genuinely admire it. I know what you mean because I feel like, you say I'm free from money, and I'm like, am I? I like literally will like look at it all the time and be like, I think I am, maybe I'm not.
You're still worried because you're half a Jew, you know, but like you're free from it. But then some worry will hang over your head regardless.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It doesn't mean you're fucking up. Just like your mind's on it. Your mind.
Do you worry at all about it?
Yeah, sometimes. I'm like, I should own property.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends, they're like, oh, Ari's not doing well. I'm like, I'm in the nicest apartment I've ever been in. And they go, apartment. I'm like, oh, right. We'll never talk the same language. Yeah, fair. Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, so I'm free of it. I can do what I want. I do stand-up comedy for money. It's the coolest job in the world.
Yes.
The only rules are there's a mic, a stool, and a mic stand. And you don't even need that. I've been in plenty of rooms where you don't have a mic. And it's like, it's just so free. do and say whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people get it too. You see some of those like travelers and they're like, oh, I'm just like living day to day. I'll work for like 2 weeks, get enough money to keep traveling.
Well, that's
Those real
okay. So
backpackers.
travel, not really a block, but a theme of your life.
Yeah. What do you mean by blocks?
What I mean
Let's
is,
explain to the audience.
The premise of the show Blocks on Netflix was things that make me feel like something's the matter with me. Like this is, I don't have the right opinions about this. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I'm old. I'm like all these ways in which I'm not fitting in.
Okay, so it's not like a thing getting in your way. It's a thing that makes you
No,
feel
it's a thing that makes you feel like something's wrong.
Yeah, right. And I thought you took those physical blocks and put them up.
I did.
Right. Okay.
But they represented
yeah.
not
So this
married,
does too.
not yeah.
This does too. The travel does. The lack of money.
The travel. Okay. What's the travel thing? Is that people don't.
You got to commit to your career. It goes hand in hand with money.
Oh, it's the like, no, you get 1 week of vacation per year.
Oh my God.
Or 2 weeks paid, whatever.
Ever meet an Australian in the audience?
Go on.
And you're like,
and they're like, we get 2 months off every year.
What are you doing here? I'm on holiday. It's like, oh, just LA and then back. Like, no, LA, Miami, Vegas, and then I'm stopping in Asia for 3 weeks, and then I go to this, and then I'm just going to do a staycation.
Then I'm going to go back to Australia, punch my boss in the face.
Yeah, my boss is a kangaroo. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, what a life.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not political, but there was a time right at the beginning of COVID where I heard Alexandra Cortez-Cortazio talk about getting back to normal. And people hate her. I don't really know enough to hate her or like her. She said one thing.
I don't think I know who she is.
She's from New York. She's a New York congresswoman.
Oh, at AOC?
Yeah.
I've never heard whatever you just said. Alex Cortez-Cortazio.
Alexandria Cortez-Cortazio.
I thought she was Greek. The way you pronounce it. Say it one more time.
Alexandria Cortez-Cortazio.
AOC, I apologize for what just happened. Right? What just happened? Okay. You're
there's no O in that. Cortez. Oh.
Yeah, I would say you're going to get locked up, but Trump's in office, so that's
right.
You're going to get pardoned.
I went to Southeast Asia right when of all the people that said they were leaving, I did, but not for that. I already had the plans, and everyone's like, "Hey, don't jump over that gorge. That's dangerous." I'm like, "Trump, motherfucker, what?" I would just jump. It was so fun, but she goes, "No, the point is not to get back to work. The point is not to work 55 to 65 hours a week for a boss that never lets you fucking accrue any wealth and have any life. The point is to work for yourself, for your life." And I'm like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that for sure.
Yeah. And you've never lived like that. So you can't understand why any of our peers or whatever would want to work.
Yeah, it's our peers.
But having said that, they are technically making a cool thing that they like.
100%. Right, exactly. So our work is not really work.
Right. But but you want to make a cool thing. I like working hard in spurts.
Yeah.
Like I'll work hard for 3 weeks, a month, and then I don't want to work hard.
It's even day to day. You're like, I think I'm tapped out. You're a writer. I've never been a writer, but like you get tapped out at some point. Like I'm diminishing returns.
Even
let's call
with
it
running errands, I can do one thing.
Yeah.
I can do one thing, and then I'm like, I can't keep. What else do you want me to do?
The bank.
Exercise.
Yeah. Be a line.
Like, meditate?
Yeah.
Are you shitting me?
I just want to stare at the wall.
Yeah.
But but so even the Fountainhead, it was like him going off on that boat was part of the creative process. Go fallow.
Yeah.
Have a fallow year for your field.
Yeah.
So it's part of it. It's like this idea of productivity being always answering emails and doing stuff like that's not productive. Being bored is productive. You're sitting there, there's no Wi-Fi on the plane, and you're sitting there bored, looking out the window, and you're like, oh, fuck. And then it's like, thoughts?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, here it is. You got to get bored to get them.
Yeah.
Get a couple ideas, write them down. I take an edible and stare out the window, daytime on a plane with a notebook on my lap in case I have a thought. Write it down without even looking at it. And then just keep staring.
Are you super high?
Yeah. Yeah, like blasted to the point where I'm like, sometimes it's like, I don't know, we take edibles. Sometimes you like get the spins.
I don't take edibles.
You get a bad thought and you're like, oh boy. And you like start sweating profusely. And it's like, but I know by now, it's happened too many times. I'm like, write it. And we're back. But like 10 minutes. I was on the floor once at an airport, like on the floor. I was like, oh fuck. You just get one bad thought and you're fine. I had to sit on the floor.
Give me an example of a bad thought.
was going to film my first special in New York at the Knitting Factory, and it was the early days of Airbnb. I had an Airbnb. I was poor, I was broke, and they mailed me the key to the place. It was early days of Airbnb.
Yeah,
it's
we're
like,
still
it's someone's
figuring it
place. Yeah, and I was like, sweet, okay. I'm on the plane. I was like, left the key at home. I can't afford a hotel. I'm going to this place. I don't have a key to the place. I don't know how to reach them. I don't know what to do. And then bad thought, spin. I was on an edible and then just spin. Another bad thought.
At LAX.
On the plane.
On the plane.
Yeah. Another bad thought was COVID lockdowns. They're not going to lock down. We have to lock down. They're not going to New York. There was a fight between the governor and the mayor.
Yep.
I was at home on an edible, and it goes, we're locking down. It was about 11 p.m. and spin. And I was talking to my chick at the time. I was like, as soon as I can stand up, we got to go to the supermarket. We got to stock the fuck up. She goes, can it wait till tomorrow? I'm like, I'm not sure it can. I think we got to stock the fuck up.
Were you right on that one?
Yeah. I mean, if that was the last of the toilet paper was there. Yeah. yeah, I guess I was. But it could have gone way bad. Where lock your door and buy an axe to protect yourself.
Oh, the way they were soldering people in China.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, but it was like that spin. That's a bad thought. And there was one at the airport, and I was like, just sweating. It's just just start sweating. And then I sit on the floor to keep from spinning, and I kind of came to a little bit.
Your apartment or the plane?
That's another time. Now it's at the airport. This is the story I'm telling you. So those are two examples of a bad thought. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
It's fun. I love you on the floor of a plane.
So I'm on the floor in an airport, and I'm just like, fuck, and I'm just like sweating. And I look over, and it's a father and son. The son is like 16, 17. The father's like late 30s, early 40s. And I'm looking, and they're 15 feet away, and they looked at me, and in my head, I'm like, they're looking at a drug addict. It's like, they're not wrong. I'm pouring sweat daytime from a drug. It was so bad. It was so embarrassing.
But if you get through that, if you get the right amount, you can write.
Meditate on a plane. Just get ideas down. Just get starter ideas, Get the writing later.
Bore the shit out of yourself.
It's important.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I went to Southeast Asia for 4 months, and I locked my phone in my drawer. I changed all my passwords before I left to Instagram, Facebook, email. I had no way of getting into anything. Called an Uber, then put my phone in my drawer, shut it, and then the Uber came and took me to the airport to Myanmar. And then
And so you're in Myanmar
with no ability to contact anyone.
You have a flip phone?
I got a burner, like a 50 megabyte storage at the airport, so I could use maps or something, but I couldn't get into any way to connect with anybody.
When was this?
2017.
Okay, so
first 4 months of 2017.
What did you?
And it was just like,
did you have numbers on paper?
No, nothing.
So what were you gonna do if there was a problem?
What problem?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
My guest today is the coolest guy who ever lived. I'll go to Myanmar. Civil War, Schmivel War.
Oh, that, yeah. I don't know. People figure it
out. But I guess what I'm wondering about is like, so then you get back. I mean, you survived. It was, you booked flights to other places, right?
When I was there, I would use.
What would you do? Internet cafe?
Internet cafe, or sometimes a hostel would have like a computer so you could get on. Sometimes you just go to the airport and like get a ticket there in
covered in sweat.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to an airport in Kupang. No, I forget the island. Deep Indonesia. And I was going to East Timor.
Whatever he said, he meant Singapore. Everything he says is jumbled.
Yeah.
And you weren't scared?
No, but then we go to the airport, like, airport's not open yet. Flights haven't started yet. And it was like noon. And I'm like, what? So we hung out in a vestibule of an ATM because it had AC, me and this other guy, until it opened. Then we bought a ticket and then went to Kupang. And then from there, land border. What a fun time that was.
And did you have a lot of ideas? What do you do with your time?
Yeah, I thought I'd write a bunch. I wrote nothing.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. It's kind of like, actually, I had to go through it.
It's a bad example of what you're talking about.
But then once I started again, it flourished back.
Yeah.
But I came back with like one idea written down about, I saw a dog fucking another dog and then they got stuck. So now it's like they're facing the other way trying to get out. I'm like, that's a lot like getting out of a relationship. But that's just a premise.
Yeah.
4 months, one premise. It never made it to a joke.
That's so funny. It doesn't exactly work the way you think it's going to work.
Yeah.
But now you have a flip phone.
Yeah, well, I'm back on this. I got to get back on the flip phone.
Oh, all right. You're on a real phone.
Yeah.
But even on the special, you said like you don't follow the news very much. You
Keep it
don't,
away.
and your life is better.
Not very much. Not at all. I actively look away from if I see any news on TV. I'm like cover my eyes like a trailer of a movie you've been looking forward to. And I don't want to get out. I don't want to see it.
So, but you have jokes. All your jokes are about current events.
Yeah.
So what is this just, if you think, is your idea that if you overhear people talking about it, it's probably worth talking about?
Yeah. There's big stuff that you will hear about, but also like I don't get caught up in the emotion of it all. I was in Ecuador on January 6th, 2020. Yeah.
21.
Got a text from one of my many shit talk threads I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Rogan, Tom, and Bert.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, can you believe this? What's happening? This is crazy. I didn't know what it meant.
Bert's the first one to say, this is kind of awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the end of democracy. I'm like, fuck yeah.
No, it's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
And they were just like, and I was like, guys, I'm on a hammock. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I heard some details later, but there was no emotion behind it. I got back months and months later. The emotion had subsided, so that was never in me. I'm going to show you this picture of my dog on my lap in a hammock with a jungle behind me.
How long were you in Ecuador for?
6 months. 6 months. The pandemic was like kicking up, so.
And did you, oh yeah, I guess it was a pandemic. Did you,
touring, you were never like, well, you've been a touring comp, but it's never like an all year long thing. Yeah, so I'd see my friend, I saw Soder get turned around at the airport, like at the airport, go, no, Arizona shut down, go home. And it's like, ugh. And I was like, let me wait this out somewhere else.
This is another thing that you just feel like, this is how I like to do it.
Yeah, and so that's this block where I feel lonely. During that time in Ecuador, 2020, they said, hey, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back with the flu, and that's going to be really bad when it's together. Because the first one came in like spring.
Yes. So
the second one was like, these are going to be together, and it's going to be fucking bad. Narrowed it down to a list of countries that were like decent on it. So Brazil was like out. They were really bad. Italy was out. But honestly, New York was out. You know, if you weren't like a New Yorker, like you'd be like, no, not that one.
Yeah.
And there was a few. Malta I thought about going to.
Malta's a little cold, I would think.
Oh, really? Yeah,
it's not warm enough.
Right.
It's not cold, but if it's not warm, to me, if it's not warm, it is cold.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about going to Prague, and I'm like, in the winter, that's going to be sucky. That. I'm not a spy.
Yeah. Fuck off.
So
what am I, the Val Kilmer ripoff movie that you didn't watch the trailer for?
That's the only one I want to see.
That fake James Bond Val Kilmer movie?
Yeah.
The Saint.
The Saint.
What am I, the Saint?
Yeah. Do some Glassman edit where you got that the first time.
Yeah. Do it right. Man,
yeah. So we narrowed down Ecuador. It was like kind of mysterious. It was Costa Rica also. But it was like, anyway, so they were doing pretty good on it. And went there. Why did we bring this up? What were we talking about?
What would you do? Were you offline then?
No, I was online. I was trying to do a podcast I did with Soder and Jay at the time. We were watching 21 Jump Street every week. Doing a 21 Jump Street breakdown.
Great.
It was pretty great. 6 and Jump. But I would do it from there. They'd be like, are you drinking out of a coconut? I'm like, no, I'm drinking a coconut. Yeah. Sorry. It's not just like I went and got one before the pod. Sorry. It was just so fun. So I was down there when all that happened, and it was just like, wasn't emotionalized by any of it.
Well, it's funny. So by the time you get back,
all settled.
Everything's kind of been figured out, so to speak.
I got back. I made my appointment for my vaccine. When they said vaccine, remember they said like, that's it. It's over. Mm-hmm. Get the vaccine. It's over.
Yeah.
And so I waited till everyone had to wait in line, try to like sneak them. Remember that white couple that went onto an Indian reservation and said like, we're 160th Indian. You know, I'm like, I'm not doing any of that. Yeah. And then I made my appointment on Tuesday for Thursday. We flew back on Wednesday, and the next day I got my first one. And then I burned my mask. I was like, we're done. It's over. Oh, it was so fun for that month where you really thought
that life was
it's over, back to normal.
Yeah. And it was never normal again.
I was going to stop fighting.
Yeah.
But I came back and everyone's talking about all these events and all this stuff. They're just like bitching about everything.
So your approach is like, huh? Oh.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. You're just like, well, you'd rather people not attack the Senate, but whatever. Maybe you don't even care if people attack the
Yeah, I
Senate.
really don't.
Well, yeah, that's what's
My
funny
mom's
about
like,
you.
people
is you
died.
don't-
Like, people I knew? She's like, no. I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
People die all the time.
You know what people don't talk about enough, or what guys don't talk about enough? How it can be stressful to when you're getting ready to have sex, that we have to have an erection, kind of a requisite for sex. And obviously you're probably going to get one. You can't promise anyone. I guarantee I'm going to get an erection. But I don't even know if that's ED or not. I just think it's like that stuff happens. My point is Hims is here to help with personalized ED treatment options, and it's all online. Like when your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic with no hesitation. You need it, and it's not something most guys can fix themselves. And men should think the exact same way about ED. I generally feel this way. Like I'm probably going to get one, but let's just make sure. You know what I mean? And with Hims, it's like a very easy way to call for backup with Hims is my point. You get personal ED treatment without stepping outside your door. Who wants to leave the house? I use Hims. You happy? I said it. I use Hims. I use pills I do it. Not always, but sometimes. Why wouldn't you? Here's the call to action and the disclaimer. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/NEAL. That's hims.com/N, capital E, capital A, capital L, all caps. Could have said it easier that way. For your personal ED treatment options. hims.com/all caps NEAL. The products mentioned are chewable compounded products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. Guys, it's still a new year, and the start of a new year is the perfect time to get organized, set goals, and prioritize what matters most. For me, a top priority, not a joke, is my financial wellness, which feels more important than ever. Thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable. They show me all of my subscriptions right in one place and help me easily cancel ones that I forgot I've been paying for the whole time. Rocket Money also pulls together all of my spending across all of my different accounts so I can clearly track my spending habits and see where I can cut back. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money's going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Here's the call to action. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/NEAL today. That's rocketmoney.com/NEAL. rocketmoney.com/NEAL. What's funny about you is that you are openly amoral.
Yeah, I'm agnostic for caring. Yeah. Yeah. Amoral, not immoral, right?
Yeah, amoral.
Just like I just don't have those.
Yeah. You're like open, like, yeah, I don't know. Like that's what I liked about the special I watched is like your approach was just like, maybe, or not.
Yeah, maybe. Or who cares? Why do you care so
Yeah,
much?
yeah. We had the same premise about trans people. It's like I don't.
Yeah, who's even
don't
talking
think
about
it? I don't think about it.
Great.
Like
Yeah, I think there needs to be a fourth thing. It's like for religion, it's like belief, atheist, and then agnostic, right?
Yeah.
Agnostic's like I don't know if there is or not. I can't say for
Yeah.
sure. But there's another one where like, huh? What are you guys talking about? Oh. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if Barry Sanders or Emmitt Smith was a better running back. But you talk to your mom, she's like, which sport is that?
Yeah,
You know?
that's funny. Like I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I just don't care.
This
You
makes
guys-
me want to sleep and like roll away.
Yeah. Sometimes it's fun to hear about, especially when you're not given. By the way, every time you hear about a news story online for the news, you're also given a take.
Yeah.
You get inherited a take that they give you.
Yes.
I like hearing about from other people. I'm like, well, you tell me about it then. It's like office gossip about people that we talk about this on text, about people you've never met. Like, ooh, And then what did Barry say to Samantha? Oh, she must have been pissed about which one's Samantha again? So she's okay, wow.
Yeah.
And then like, gone.
Yeah, it's really not my problem.
Yeah, it's so fun.
So do you think you don't have
and then I know I'm a contrarian to not be a part of it.
But I don't think you're not I mean, maybe you are contrarian. A buddy of mine, my friend Bajan, said that Shane Gillis had a funny joke about you, which is you're a 50-year-old man who likes to shock people.
Oh yeah.
Like you are a contrarian, but I don't think it's it. I buy it. I buy it. I don't think you're doing it. I don't think you're going out of your way to do it. I think you were just generally like, oh.
Yeah, that's how Adrian is too. Like, oh, if you walk out, I get it. You're right. You're. I understand what I'm saying. I'm sorry. If you're upset, get home safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, and this is not why I do it. But remember in South Park, those guys like the only way to be punk rock now is to be a Republican. This was 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Because everyone was so Democrat, especially in this town, that it's like you have to take an opposite stance. You have to go at the who's in charge. I think now the only way to do it is to be positive.
I was gonna do that approach until I saw your special. I might still do a version of it, but like,
go for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like our other joke, we worked it out. By the way, since we're talking about you did a joke. Remember the time you just did a joke of mine?
No.
The joke about if everyone who had the clap just didn't fuck for 3 days, the clap is eradicated forever. I said it in the parking lot, and then you did it on stage, and then you realized it. Yeah, you realized it, and you were like, I just stole that from you. I was like, yeah. I didn't care. I was I was glad to see it get a good
right.
good home.
Yeah, you saw me realize like, oh, I know where it came from now. Fuck.
I don't think I saw it, but I didn't confront you. You just came to me and said it, and I was like, oh, I didn't. I was like glad because I think I tried it and it didn't work for me. So it was like, yeah, I would like that idea to be out there.
Yeah. That's my autistic way of dealing with stuff. I just go right at it without emotion. Like, hey, listen. I'm just like, hey, I stole a joke from you. I've already gotten to this.
Hi,
past
sir.
that point.
You hand me a piece of paper, and you have sell pencils. So you don't. I agree with you that it is like, no, just be positive.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's an easy take. And it's such a better way to live. You lock down with all this like terrible shit in the world, and it's like, it's not real. First of all, it's not real. It's just like there's no racism. Like, sure, but like day to day, what are you seeing? I'm so glad there's this rise of anti-Semitism now, so I can finally weigh in on my thing. Because if I say it about black people, they're like, "What the fuck do you know?"
Right.
So now finally, I can be like, "Okay, great." When Nick Cannon went against said some crazy shit about Jews, that was the first one. I'm like, great. So now it's me. He's just spouting off, guys. Who gives a fuck? It's just some guy spouting off. But if I said that about somebody spouting off about Mexicans, they'd be like, it's not your fight. Stay out of this.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see it day to day, any rise in anti-Semitism. Online, you see it.
Do you want to stop Asian hate?
I stopped it.
How?
What?
How'd you do that?
I found out the guys who were killing all of them, and I was like, come on, man.
Guys, you
right.
sat them down.
Yeah.
Remember when you couldn't kill Asian people for 3 months 4 years ago?
No, I completely agree with you that it's like, and then somebody wrote a book of like Steven Pink or somebody that like, this is the most moral advanced time in human history. Less war, less famine, less like, it's the least
scientific
of everything.
Developments.
Yeah, no, I've been doing a premise about like all we do is complain.
Yeah, and like, what are you guys bitching about?
Yeah,
you got 5 days in Hawaii.
Yeah,
one of the days poured rain all day.
Fucking
and which one are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
Or you could be like, well, let's play that. Teach me that card game you always wanted to teach me.
Yeah,
I guess we'll do that now. That's cool.
Yeah, we could try to. And it's, by the way, this is not how I've lived my life.
Right.
Like I've been.
We got called by a great comic. He goes, "You're just like Neal. You're both curmudgeons."
And now we're both not.
Yeah. Point taken.
Thank you, drugs. Okay, so speaking of drugs,
yeah.
Hold
on though. But I think this is a tool, and it's a fun one to do, is to find in an outsider way a positive part about anything, because it's not as bad as it looks. It's a fun game.
Absolutely,
and you can get
there. I there's a proverb where,
you know about the farmer who had a horse and the horse ran away and the neighbor said, "Oh, isn't that too bad? And the farmer says, you never know. And the next day, the horse came back followed by a beautiful wild stallion. And the neighbor said, how fortunate. And the farmer said, you never know. And shortly thereafter, the son of the farmer was riding the wild horse and he fell and broke his leg. And the neighbor said, isn't that terrible? And the farmer said, you never know. Shortly thereafter, the government was coming through conscripting the young men for service. Because the boy had a broken leg, he was left behind. And the neighbor said, how fortunate. And the farmer said,
like, just you don't know what's going to happen. And I can say firsthand if my life has improved.
From doing that?
Well, my life has improved overall. In the face of me, fucking sucks, and I'm a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
Like,
it got hacky after a while.
Yeah.
It just felt like, I don't want this to be my thing anymore.
Yeah. And the world is getting better.
I saw Thomas Sowell talk to some guy, and he was like, this guy showed him he's this great black thinker. And this guy, this interviewer goes, yeah, so Donald Trump said this, that black unemployment's the lowest it's ever been under his tenure. And they both laughed. And then he goes, it's crazy the way that guy talks. And Thomas Sowell's like, yeah, although it's true though. Mm-hmm. The guy's like, what? He goes, well, I mean, you start slavery, full unemployment, and then it's gotten better every year.
Or full employment.
Full employment, exactly. There was nobody just like chilling.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, I mean, with time, but like, yeah, it's true. I don't know. I know you don't want it to be true, but it's true.
Yeah.
We were on Rogan's podcast, and Norman said, like, I took the subway over to this. And Joe's like, because he's on the news, and he's like, wait, you took the subway?
Yeah.
Because in his mind, everyone's getting pushed in front of it on every train.
Yeah.
And not just like, they're just videotaping it more. I don't know anyone who knows anyone who's ever seen anyone get
totally
pushed.
Agree.
And he goes, why? And Norman's like, because he's not thinking like that. He goes, it's faster. What do you mean? Yeah, it's just faster sometimes with traffic. And it was like, what?
Yeah, when you don't have $400 million, you can ride the subway.
Different realities.
Yeah.
Just different realities.
Yes.
Things are good. Things are nice. You just focus on it. It's a fun game.
Yeah, just like, is it so bad?
So I tried to, Christine, Big J's chick, during Kanye's first pop-off, was like, hey, I know this is like crazy right now, but have you heard Black Skinhead? And I was like, no. She goes, it slaps. You should listen to it. And I did, and it made me discover this guy. I said
that was a good bit.
But so anyway, in my whole tour, I was like, bring me, what do you want to go up to? Like the beginning of Black Skinhead. Yeah. It just goes so hard. It's so cool. And then I was like, and I did this whole bit about Kanye, about how great he is.
Yep.
I was like, let me see if I can get this song for the closing credits. It would go so perfectly. And I was like, asked two people that knew him, if they get to, like, he changed his number, and it's not worth me trying to find his number. It's pretty good. He changed his number. Like, fuck. And I'm like, all right, let me do it through the proper channels. I thought the only way I could get it, it's so high level that it's like, is to get a favor. Yeah. You know? And you can like pass things through fast with rights. I heard Garbage sampled a Brian Wilson song once, and they go, can we use this? And he was like, send it to me, what you're doing. And he goes, you can use it, but I want the vinyl. Like, I want you to send me a signed vinyl because it's so good. And it's like, great, it'll get done. It's not money. And so I reached out to his people through, some lawyer, and was like, I have this whole bit about Kanye and how great he is. I'm trying to took out this whole part. I edited out this whole part about trying to fuck Kim Kardashian and how I'd never stop fucking her, and I'd never made it. And they go, well, I hope you're not referring to him as Kanye in the special. He's Ye. Okay. And I'm like, damn it. Yep. Damn it. Yep. Anyway, so I went on the hunt for new songs that would fit the theme. And I just like songs about focusing on positive and whatever. Just like for days and days, just looked at what I could find. Couldn't get the right to It's a Wonderful World. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, and having someone else cover it, that's going to be $50,000. Yep. Like, fuck, I don't have this money. I'm not NBC. And then I started finding the lyrics over and over again in some Modest Mouse songs, who I'd been a bit aware of, but never really knew. And I'm a huge Modest Mouse fan now. All their stuff is exactly what I'm talking about in this special. Focusing on positive. It was worth it to get taken by the Jamaican, grifter, just to learn how the trick was done. Yeah. It's all like, oh, it's so there's positive parts about everything. So me not getting the Kanye thing was like, fuck, but now I'm a Modest Mouse fan. Yeah.
You never know.
There's shit that's positive
everywhere. I write
everywhere.
in my journal 4 times a day.
Really?
Yes. Being like literally up it's like coaching myself to be more positive.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, you got to set a habit for it.
Because my brain doesn't want to do it. My brain, I think the human brain is naturally looks for danger, naturally looks up at people that are doing better, and naturally wants to like, I got to get up there. And like, I just think that's what it is. It's survivalist, and then it becomes competitive and whatever. But I write all the time, like, it's all perfect. Everything's perfect.
Believe it. After a
yeah,
while,
I forget it. I forget all the time, but like I know that everything in my life that I thought was a setback was not, and everything I thought was negative wasn't. It's like in the short term they are, like a week or two or a month or a year or whatever. But like
me getting in trouble, they had to put my Jew special on hold, and I was like, I'll pick this up in 4 months, and then some fucking Chinaman sneezed on a bat or whatever. And so then everything was delayed even longer. Yep. And I was like, all right, I'm done with it. And then like had the idea in Ecuador, like maybe dust that off and try it. But this big roadblock allowed me an extra year and a half of putting it away and then a year of working on it to make it like far better. Yeah. That was very helpful.
And if I'd said that to you, you would have been like, there's no way I'll do it.
Get the fuck away from me, man. Yeah.
And it's no way it'll be good. And I'm so done. And it's like.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear like, could be good. Like, shut the fuck up. You just went through a breakup.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
you know what's funny? I want to do the caveat now of like, I know this doesn't apply to everyone. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do a caveat right now and go like, obviously people have hard lives or whatever. I'm going to focus on positive. My life is good and getting better, and most of it's about my own point of view, and I don't want to fucking apologize for anyone that's going through a hard time. I've gone through plenty of hard times.
See, people slow down on stage for no reason. They go, listen, I'm not saying everyone's not equal. And it's like you're wasting time. I heard I bought 2 vinyls once. I bought a Cosby album for 10 cents in San Francisco, yard sale. They were just like, throw it away. Why are you selling it? Yeah. And it's Kinnison. Listen to them back to back. They're both great. Cosby's very long and paints a picture, and Kinnison's right in your face. There's not once where he goes, guys, I'm not saying women don't deserve. He's just like, these fucking bitches. Yeah. And it's like, why wait? We know you don't think they should all be enslaved. Yes. So just get to the joke. Why waste time? Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's doing that. Yeah, I'm sure some people have. Fuck off. Yeah. Who cares?
I'm specifically not doing it. I'm just like, I don't.
There was this guy, Tommy John again. I think it was him. And he said he got to LA and he hated it. Hated it. And that happens now. People are like, LA sucks. I'm gonna get back here. And I'm like, oh yeah, all my friends are here, back at the store. Burritos again. I don't get burritos where I'm at. And I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm supposed to hate this place, but it's one of the more creative cities in America. Yeah. People are doing and creating things. There's art everywhere, and there's comedy and I mean, fucking shitty actors. I hate actors, but like they're here. Some of them are cool. And like
they're good looking. The girls are good looking.
Oh my God, it's great. You land and you're
some of the guys.
Yeah. It's the only place where a nerd could be with a 9.5. Just some dork Jew, and you're like,
and by the way, and still think he can do better.
Yeah. So Jonigan got here, and he said he hated it. He moved probably for a writing job or something. It was 10, 12, 15 years ago. And he goes, I hated it. And you go to parties in Silver Lake. People are like, what do you think? He goes, I hate it. People are like, why? It's like, it's just fucking whatever the reason. It's fake. There's no seasons. Everyone, whatever. And then every party, people are like, how do you like LA? And he got sick of just saying over and over again, I hate it. And he goes, sometimes it's like when people are like, how you doing? And you did just go through a breakup or something like that. And I don't know you well enough. So you just go, I'm fine. Yeah. Let's move on. So he eventually, they're like, how do you like LA? He goes, oh, I love it. And they're like, oh, what do you like about it? He goes, the weather's nice. The burritos are great. Whatever. It was just easier to, instead of having to explain over and over again. And after he said, after 6 months of that, he goes, I started to like it. I started to like LA. I just kept saying the reasons why it's good. And then I started to be like, oh yeah, I just convinced myself like you're doing your journal.
And the other thing that I was thinking is like, you're not on social media which rewards negativity.
Yeah.
So
I'm off Twitter. I'm still on like Instagram, but for like puppy shit and like cool slow-mo basketball shots. And there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's great, but once you open it,
it goes
once
fast.
you open the door to, It's like you ever look and then you'll see a comment about you and you're like, I wasn't even looking for comments about me.
This is on how to make a hamburger video. And I'm like, what? Neal Brennan sucks. I'm
like, how?
You're like,
how?
Shut it.
Yeah. So it's smart that you're not on Twitter. I mean, Twitter, the most obvious one, but like people, you're not allowed to be positive anymore because you have to apologize
for just
to everyone who's doing worse than you. And it's like, there are people that are doing worse than you. I don't.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
this
We're
thing
all Americans, by the way. We're all in one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Yes.
So like, I'm in the 97th percentile while you're in the 98th.
Yeah, and
like,
I have to apologize to you. Meanwhile, you're not fucking looking back at all the people that you're doing better than.
Yeah, you know who you don't know? Someone who got burned by a witch recently.
Yeah, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
Why? How did this become?
It's crazy.
Public conversation.
You see it. It's almost like comical. Where I did one of my podcasts was on Laos, and somebody's like, "Well, did you cover the people that died in a boating accident last week?" And like, no, it was about this guy's vacation.
Yeah.
No, why do you even know that? Get out of here.
Why did you cover it? Because it didn't happen to hardly anyone.
Yeah, it's not relevant.
There are, I don't know,
it's almost
20
funny.
million Laotians.
And too many, if you ask me.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
And 8 of them died on the ship that you sank.
Yeah.
And so are you well, we didn't talk about drugs. Has drugs helped you get to this point of view?
Yeah, mushrooms at first.
I'm positive they did in my case.
Yeah, mushrooms at first. You know, they're all overlap drugs. Not all, but the psychedelics. They're all kind of overlaps.
Like similar variations on a theme.
Yeah. So when you take ayahuasca, people like you must describe it for me, you know? And you're like, okay. But it's like, usually I go to like, it's similar to mushrooms. There's definitely like visuals. Yeah. And there's like, your ego's gone. It's just more so, but like, you know, it's that. It's like, and with mushrooms, like your ego drops a little bit. So you can look at yourself without being attached to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like looking at that guy, but that guy is not just some guy. That guy, you know more about him than anyone has ever known about anyone, you know, because it's you.
Right.
And so, but then you're like, why does that guy do that? He shouldn't do that. You know, sometimes you say that about your friends, like, why you do that? And they're like, because you don't know. Because I do, you know, but hey, why don't you work on Fridays? Like, because I visit my mom every Friday. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were being lazy. But he knows, you know, so you look at that guy and you just make the changes you need to make. And I don't know, just like, it just helps so much.
What are the changes you need to make? What have been the changes?
The first one I remember was first mushroom trip, Santa Monica Promenade, Pete Carboni.
Great.
We were going to look at street performers. We were going to see some like psychedelic-ish movie, and then the street performers scared us. So we're like, let's go to the next one. And it was the Johnny Depp Dillinger movie. Is that a false memory?
No, that's a real one, and it's called
Public Enemy?
Public Enemy.
It was great.
I heard a very funny story about Johnny Depp shooting that, which was Michael Mann was like, you know, getting a lot of shots from behind him. And finally he was like, come on, man. Like, fucking shoot my face.
Yeah.
Like, just get a body double for this. I'm wearing a hat.
It's right. It was great. I thought I pissed myself halfway through. Just sure I had. But it was just some condensation off the soda.
Great.
And then I was like, fuck. I mean, I for sure pissed myself. No way. And then just went out to look. I'm like, there's no stain. But I was like, no, it's definitely just going like this.
Funny.
Anyway, then sitting in my car afterwards and going, my first realization was like, I couldn't drive, you know. And then I was like, just thinking about people that I should reach out to more, be more open with compliments. Because I like hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I loved you saying you like my stuff.
Yeah.
You wrote me once I was in Montreal when a couple specials came out. You wrote me and was like, hey, good job. I like the jokes. Like, I was like, nice. It made me feel really good.
I try to do it.
It's such a cool
Sometimes I think it's
easy.
Intrusive, but like,
who doesn't like that?
I know. I really try to.
Also, any public shaming, reach out to the person.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, bud, how you doing? They think everyone's their enemy.
Yeah.
And you take away one when you say, how you doing? Hope you're okay.
Great.
I've had guys that I was like, maybe this is still their email.
Yeah.
12, 13 years later, I haven't talked to them. I was like, hope you're doing okay. And they were like, you have no idea how much this means. I'm like, whoa, we barely know each other.
Yeah.
I'm way lower than you. And if that meant that, I mean, anyway. So anyway, I remember thinking about Chris Fairbanks and his delivery style, how he intentionally makes mistakes and then corrects the mistake and finds all this humor through a correction of a misspeak. I don't know anyone who else does that. And he does it well.
Yeah.
At least did. I haven't seen him in a long time, but did then. And I just texted him there. I was like, hey man, your delivery style it's so cool. No one else does that. It's just cool. Why don't I do this more?
Yeah.
So just a little of that, try to be helpful.
Like it just occurred to you in your car on mushrooms.
And not that he does it, but that I can tell him.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
well, no,
nice
about complimenting people.
Yeah, right. And so, yeah, you try to do that sometimes. When Carlin was in the back of the OR and he knew who he was.
Yeah.
He knew what he meant. He's not a guy sitting there. He is, but he's also George Carlin is that guy. Yeah. And when someone had a good set, he'd be like, hey man, good set. He knew. Don't be fucking, don't be that with this. You know? Don't be Shylocks with these compliments. Give them out.
I thought cokehead. Oh, he was. Bad news, everybody.
Gave me $20 once to get him a sandwich.
Did he really?
I desperately needed it. Yeah, I went to Green Blast to get him a sandwich, and I was like, here. He goes, I'm like, oh, the Comedy Store paid for it. And he goes, I know. It's for you. I'm like, thanks, Mr. Carlin. He goes, George, don't do that.
That's fucking great. And what are any other big drug revelations?
Yeah, it was the biggest one lately is that it's like you get a chance to like create things, and some of that's helping other people along with it. So you're part of it. If you can help someone get to something great or as good as they can be, at least aim for it, you've helped. And cinema is a collaborative thing, right? If you get a great writer and great director and the actor's terrible, it's just not going to be good. You know, if you don't get a good sound guy for your special, it's going to sound like you're bombing. You need everybody.
Yeah.
And so some of my friends don't have, I've shot enough stuff. I know how to do it. I know how to do it where the comic can shine. These directors don't protect the show itself. They just like, let's get our shots. I'm like, no, you're gonna make them bomb.
Yeah,
it's not your shots. It's you gotta make it good. So like a few people, I'm like, let me help you make your special. I know you go on direct. I'm like, I don't know enough about apertures and shit like that.
Yeah, you do, but whatever. I mean, I'm telling you do.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But it's like, I'd rather listen. With Big J's special, I was setting up chairs. I'm like, no, this isn't right. We can change these. We can get like you don't want to face an open row. You want to have row and then 2 rows there, so you're not facing nobody. And the other producers aren't doing that.
No,
you know. So it's like I want to help you make this thing as good as it can be.
Was that a drug one?
Was that what?
A drug realization? That's
from the jungle.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
By the jungle you mean doing ayahuasca in Peru?
Ecuador. Yeah.
Was that part of the 6
months down there?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Part of that?
Yeah. We're here. We should do it at some point.
Did you do it more than once?
No. But then afterwards, like, you want to come back tomorrow? And I was like, oh. If they had told me ahead of time, I would have.
Right.
But that next morning, you're so worn out.
I had to drink coconuts and.
Oh my God. You're just so worn out. Like, I don't think so. I don't have the energy for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's any drug the day after drugs. You want to do Molly again? You're like, bro, I'm still conked from yesterday. But the guy who told us about it said he took it 4 days in a row. By the third day, he saw how he was going to die and when, and he was fine with it. He goes, it's okay. It's in water. I'm going to drown, but it's like, I'll be 47. I'll be done there. I'm like, at the time I was like, bro, I'm 45. What are you talking about? Fucking 22-year-old asshole.
That's funny. 47. It's like fucking big. It's basically dead anyway.
Yeah. But the thought was that when you make something great, when you nail it, a moment or whatever, a moment or a big, thing, big, anything, it makes something, and like, I don't know how to describe it really. It's tough to describe these things. When you're on mushrooms, whenever I see somebody
I know what you mean.
Coming back from mushrooms.
It makes a impact in time.
Yeah.
In the energy of the culture of the time. It's like a ripple in the...
But even if no one else notices it, even if it's just in like a group,
Oh, I know what you mean. Oh, you're talking about like being in the pocket.
Yeah.
Just like I was...
Crushing one.
Yeah. Like I delivered the best possible thing I could have.
You've had sets at the Comedy Store. They don't matter. A Tuesday night at the Comedy Store. You're doing 15 minutes. 11 minutes in, you're like, I am crushing this right now. This is an A+ right now for 11 minutes. If I can go these last 4, it's a perfect set.
Yeah.
There's 19 people in the audience. It's not going to change the zeitgeist in any way. But you're like, let me do. And sometimes you're like, I missed it right at the end.
Yeah.
But sometimes you nail it and you're like, I did it. When you do one of those, it creates something and it goes off into the universe. And all those great things are all playing together and forever. So the Saga de Familia.
Do you believe in
Sistine Chapel
spirit involved, like God type spirit, or like energy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything?
Energy orbs. I call them orbs. I don't know. There's a little like Fabergé eggs, but big ones. And then they just go up there and they're gone past you. They're out. You don't control them anymore. It's like a bird who gives birth to another bird.
Yeah.
Once they're gone, they're on their own now. They're just like full grown birds. So I just want to help people make those.
Yeah.
I just want to make those. That's when my appetite for fighting went down. I was like, that ain't helping me make anything.
Appetite for fighting.
Arguing with people. It was just like, yeah, sorry. Shouldn't have said that. My bad. I don't want to be right. I just don't want to do this. This is holding me back.
Yeah.
From doing like that. You know, it's like heroin addicts. So like, you're just getting in the way of more heroin. Get out of my way. You know, when I assume what sounds so good the way to describe it, but like, I just want to do one of those. So when you do one, you just feel like so happy.
Yeah.
And when you see someone else doing it, you're like, oh, it just makes you cry when you hear something that shouldn't make you cry.
Yeah.
When I listen to Nevermind all the way through, I just start crying. I'm like, homo. You know, it's just like, oh, nailed it. So I don't listen that much.
You don't listen to Nevermind that much because you want to save it?
Yeah, maybe. It's just too perfect.
You don't want to be a bitch.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. It's like, damn.
It's. I mean, to me, it's like a god.
Yeah,
I think that's why people worship famous people. It's because like I can't. You're so close to God if you have a talent.
Yeah, dated an artist once. She said a lot of the reasons that a lot of artists don't have children is because one of the reasons people do have children is so you leave something to the world that'll live on without you. And like, if you make a great painting, like it does.
Yeah,
you did it already.
Yeah.
They have either no kids or like 80 kids.
right. 80 kids they ignore.
Yeah. So it's like, I just want to help people do that. So setting up chairs for Jay's special was that. Doing Adrian's special, trying to figure out how to get like Louis involved and like, and like try to make something good was like me like going for it. And even if you fail, you're going for it. Yeah. You know? Yeah, I just want to make things.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, and it's great because it's unexpected and it is like, it's the same idea as being positive.
Yeah. I saw Adrian open for Louis C.K., Adrian Appalucci at Madison Square Garden.
Who's got a great Netflix special as well.
Yeah.
That Ari produced.
That I produced.
What's it called?
The Dark Queen.
The Dark Queen.
That's the name I gave her. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And she'd open for me on the whole Jew tour pretty much.
Yep.
And people would always like, who was that first chick? It was like, they didn't know her name, but it was like, it resonated with them. I was like, yep, for sure it should. But she crushed so hard at MSG in the round that it was another one. I just started crying. I mean, I'm getting choked up now thinking about it. It was just it's not about comedy. It was just about like crushing the moment.
Yeah.
I was so proud.
Yeah.
I didn't help her with it or anything. I was just there to witness it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, God damn. Anyway, so like, yeah, and those set designs, same thing. It's like they helped with, you know, the Jew one. It was like they came up with a like a pitch, and you're like, you talk to 7 or 8 artists, and one did. I'm like, all right, and now you're taking a chance. You're like, I'm going to trust you to see this through. And then sometimes they rise to the occasion. You got to be open to that. They might not.
Mm-hmm. Bridget
Everett did a This Is Not Happening show once, a live one at the Improv, and she was like, "Can I do a song?" She does songs. She does burlesque in a great way.
Yeah.
I went to see her special at the Joe's Pub. That was another one. I was just like, I had never seen so much power on stage.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I was like, no, Bridget, this is a storytelling show. This is not a song thing. Mm-hmm. I've had people just do bits before. And it's like, come on, that's not this. And she's like, well, I think, and I was like, I mean, do it. That's just not it, but do what you got to do. And she sang this story song about fucking some celebrity in this song, revealing who it was at this party through like his credits and like slowly going on about what they did and how they did it. And I was like, oh, I should trust you. I should have trusted. I shouldn't have even second guessed you.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing. Harlan Williams is on my podcast, and I usually do like, let's do one country per. He goes, well, I got this other idea and I was like, it's one country. Otherwise we get too sidetracked. He goes, well, I'm like, you know what? And I remember the Bridget thing. I was like, fine, go. It was about in the back of a National Geographic, he saw a 30-day trip around the world for like 35 grand. And he was like, I'll try to do it. So it was about this one 30-day trip literally around the world to all the craziest sites in the world. And I'm like, yeah, it's one of the best episodes we've ever had because it was like.
Was it a true story?
Yeah. Yeah, you never know with Harlan.
Yeah.
At the end, he read a poem. He goes, I wrote a poem to the rest of the people in the group. And I was like, okay. And I kept waiting for the punchline. And it was just a serious poem that he read to them. And I zigged when I say, it was like, you just got to trust artists to do it.
Yeah.
And if they don't do it, that's fine. But you got to trust them when you like vetted them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the plants for the special, it was just Design Foundry. They've done some stuff. And the first pitch they had was like, oh, no, I can't afford this then. Because what they had, it costs a lot. Plants cost a lot. It's not just a bouquet for a chick.
And they're real plants.
They're all real plants.
Yeah.
The first 20 minutes, you can hear my nose stuffed up from pollen. Yeah. Yeah.
You forgot you were Jewish. Like,
Right.
oh, God damn it.
It's so hot in here. But I was like, okay, then I can't. No, I can't afford. Let's rethink what we want to do. Maybe we'll do something like that, And then they were like, have a talk with them. And I explained to them what I wanted to do and why the plants, It was about like leaving all that fucking negative like online shit, just letting nature kind of take over and whatever. And then they like came back to me and they're like, okay, we're going to go for it. We're going to like, we just won't make as much money. Yeah. We like this idea. It's cool. It's cooler than a music video. So yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Oh, I just love it when
Great. That's what I wanted to talk about. It's like you're more optimistic, more positive, more pro. You want to connect with people.
Yeah. Yeah. And through the stuff that I connect with me, it's like maybe you guys can relate to this.
But overall, you want to connect with people.
Yeah, and that's what This Not Happening was. It was like I got to help a ton of people shine.
Mm-hmm.
It was my show, but it was individual parts of that show.
Yeah, it was like it was your show in name. I like
name. Let me just like get this going for us.
Do you get recognized for that? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you get a lot of heat from that, or is it most stand up or podcast?
Oh, it's all slightly over time. Brian Regan did it. What a fucking coup to get him. He goes, have you seen a big bump from this? I'm like, actually, Brian, no, just slight increases over time with every little thing. But like, when I'm on a ski lift and getting on and somebody recognized me, like, dude, I love that show. And they misquoted like, you know, crazy stuff happening. And it's like, all right. But like a decade later, people are like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, nice. What's your favorite story? And they go, the Ali Sadiq one. I'm like, yeah, that was so
super
cool.
clip too. It's so YouTube.
Yeah. And so it's like, yeah, the helping people, you feel like you're part of it. Let me help you.
I always felt that way.
Yeah.
That's why I compliment people. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'll write the joke. You want to?
Yeah, that's your fucking chlamydia joke. For me,
yes.
Like at least you
got
it on
good.
something.
I'm glad people got to hear that because I thought it was funny. It didn't feel people didn't think it was funny from me. They thought it was funny from me.
Yeah, Silverman could sell a joke we can't.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, we got to wrap.
Buddy, this was pretty cool.
Yeah. Was it?
Did I get the right thing about blocks eventually?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think you were doing it. You just didn't know you were doing it.
Yeah. That's what Duncan said about doing edibles out the window. He goes, no, that's meditation. I was like, oh, I thought it was just drugs on a plane. He goes, yeah, you're doing it right.
Ivan, thank you.